Hello, hello. So, Prima, I see it's just me and you right now. Happy Halloween or happy Mischief night. So, we'll wait for some more people to filter in. I think I'm that second person that's watching because I've got it on my other screen. But I hope all is well with you. So, lots of news with us. So yes, I was sick. I did not have the thing that everybody had. Hello, moi. I see you on how come? Oh, there we go. All right, I saw you pop up on my YouTube link, and then you came up on my StreamYard link. So hello. Good morning, I should say. But so I was horribly sick all week. I actually was on the couch, but I did get to watch a lot of The Crown, which was fantastic. And then we went right into my daughter was in a haunted theater for the last few weekends, and my son is at the end of you can still hear I'm a little bit congested. So my son is in the tail end of marching band competition. So we've got one more week. We've got nationals next week. So my weekend will be eaten up by that. But after that, we get a little breather before we go to indoor season. So it's exciting stuff that's going on. So since you guys are the early birds that are here, I'm going to pull up my card screen. I'm going to show you one of the sweet gifts Gregopedia got me. So Spirit of Halloween, if you're not in the United States, the two of you aren't, it's like a pop-up Halloween shop that we get. And it never fails. Like businesses go out of business. It's like a funny thing in the United States. When a business goes out of business, it's going to turn into a Spirit of Halloween. And it's basically a costume shop, a fancy dress shop. They pop up right before Halloween, and they have an extensive tarot card selection. All my friends have been sending me screenshot, pictures when they go in, and they're like, oh, there's a tarot card section in here. Well, I didn't know they actually had tarot cards, but Gregopedia got me the deck, and I'm going to tell you, it did not disappoint. It's really good. I'm just going to bring the camera down a little bit so you guys can see this. I won't do like a total flip through, but they have different characters for the major arcana. So we'll pull these down. So like the magician is the warlock, the high priestess is the fortune teller. Super, super cool. I'm not going to do a whole flip through, but if you guys want, we can use this deck today. I'm not like super conversant with it. It is holographic, so it's got like a funky holographic view. So we can use this one for today, but they've like voodoo warlock. Super cool. So if you guys want to request, I know Gregopedia does spoil me. I'm going to put it off to the side for now with some selenite on it. We'll go back up to our giant view so that we can hit my camera. So Prima, I'm going to pull some cards for you since you were first here. I'll give you some cards, see what you can rely on for the next couple of days. And we all know Halloween time, the veil is super thin. Hi, TD. I meant to text you. I just realized that I didn't. I might have even typed it in and just not hit send. So it's been crazy. I was just telling everybody I've just been running around. TD, Tarot Destiny, had not only an anniversary, but a birthday. So we should all throw some flowers up for her. Let's throw up I'll throw up some hearts. I got some hearts and sparkles there. And the Fitness Hutch is in the house. Fitness Hutch. I still have to PayPal you. I still have to send you some money. And the Fitness Touch is here too. We got both of them. They just came off a live. Guys, I have been all over the place. You have to friend me on Facebook so you can see like my travails, like where I have been. I have just been everywhere. I literally, I had to tell, there was a cable guy out in front of my house and I had to tell him I am not an Uber driver because I kept leaving and coming back. He was like, I totally thought you were. It was a big truck to be driving around for an Uber driver. So yeah, Hutch, I'm going to be in that group. Don't you worry. Don't you? My fat ass will be there. So this weekend, because we were at competitions, all I've done is eaten like the worst kinds of food. Absolutely the worst kinds of food at the worst hours. It just is really bad. And I'm drinking some liquid sugar right now, some ginger ale. Those of you that are interested in getting into mental shape, into physical shape, Hutch is going to do a first run, highly discounted course. This course is it's a super value. It's I think correct me if I'm wrong. 60 pounds? Is it 60 pounds? Which is you know, like I don't know, 70 change something in American dollars. I don't know, I'm just going to send you money. But it's his optimum program. And it's going to get you mentally fit. It's going to get you physically fit. It's going to motivate you. It's going to be awesome. So, becoming fit. I like that. So, you know what? Let me, you know what? Let's, if we can, TD, would you pop or the Hutches, just do a, do a link to your video in there so people can join, because it's like the 11th hour. Everybody's got to get in on it. You know, it's definitely a good thing before the holidays get here, before you get, you know, all wonky and crazy and eating cookies and, you know, rich things. Getting into a better mindset and getting your act together is just going to be a real. Oh, you can't drop a link? Rats. Hang on. Let me do this. Bear with me. Hi, Gemma. I see you too. I see you, Gemma. Fitness Touch. Hang on. Oh, of course. And Fitness Touch YouTube. There we go. And I'm going to find your video. Bear with me. You guys are champs. Videos. Where is Optimum? Stick with me, guys. Stick with me. I will find it. Oh, vegan to carnivore. Oh, rats. Guys, was it alive? Let me see. Gym session. I think it was alive. I'm still sick, guys, too. Whatever it was brutal. So while I'm looking for this video, I will tell you a little bit. So my daughter was in a Halloween, I'm going to share this one. Let me share this one. Put this. Oh, it's unlisted. That's it. Thanks, Hutch. All right. So this one, if you guys don't know Hutch's channel, yeah, I'm not reading the comments. I'm like, I'm a crazy person over here. So my daughter was in this crazy haunted theater, and she was a crazy character in it. And I finally got to see it last night. It was, you know, like a spooky walkthrough thing. And it was amazing. It was amazing. It's super, it was, you know, it was the university, super thing. And my son was in States. They came in second on Saturday. And then there was like a regional that we did at, it used to be Trenton State College, but now it's called the College of New Jersey, which I think is pretty weak. They came in 5th yesterday, but the drum line that my son is in came in 1st both times. So they are pretty awesome. So TD. That was another thing. My daughter went to go see the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and she went dressed up as Columbia, the tap dancer, and she looked amazing. So those of you that are friends with me on Facebook, you can see it. Trevor, I am following you on Instagram as my alter ego, Miranda Von Scuttlebutt. So when you see comments from Miranda Von Scuttlebutt, it's not a crazy person. It's this crazy person. It's not a random crazy person. So, all right. So let me go up. I'm just going to pull some cards for Prima, just so Prima can see how to maximize her week and this fun holiday that's coming up. Usually we go all out. So Prima. So this week, what you should over the next couple of days. This is you turning a corner. You're closing some doors. We had that amazing full moon partial eclipse on Saturday, and that was about pulling up a lot of past hurts, so opening a lot of wounds and healing up those wounds. So it looks like you effectively did that. So good for you. Totally successful doing that. And during the next couple of days, holiday season, for me, it's a holiday. What you absolutely should do is surround yourself with friends and candy and all that good stuff and just have a really good time. Oh, somebody just put a hex on me in the comments. So, all right, there's here. I just put a hex on you. Thank you. I put a spell on you. 'Cause you're mine. Do. So thank you. People don't always give me stuff. So that's great if you gave me a little spell. So yay. So all right, let's see what we got here. So we got Jano. Hey, Jano, what do you think's going to happen to Justin Timberlake's career? He seems kind of like a Teflon kind of guy. The whole Janet Jackson thing, and I remember when that happened. I want, why I remember the Janet Jackson thing at the Super Bowl? Because I never play cards because, this face, I don't have a poker face. I just can't poker face at all. And I had a bunch of drinks and I was feeling good. Let's put it that way. And the friends that I was with, the guys, they were one short. They wanted me to play poker and I clean sweeped them. I was killing it. And they were like, how are you doing this? I go, I guess I have to be really drunk to not, tell secrets with my face. But that's usually not the truth. So nonetheless. So, all right, let's see what's going to happen to Justin after this whole Britney book revelation. Let's see what's going on with this. Justin, what can we expect with Justin? We'll look at past, present, ooh, future. He's gonna have to run from this story. So, and I don't know, his Instagram comments are horrible. I see that, Jano. Thank you. So hi Penny, I see Penny D too. So essentially what he's going to have in the past, he's really a tent pole in the industry. So and I don't know if you guys remember, if you're old enough to remember this, they were calling him like the Michael Jackson of, the future, all this stuff. They were really giving him a lot of credit. I thought he was okay. All right. It's not really my kind of cup of tea. That's not really my kind of music. I was never really a pop fan, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if he was in NSYNC or Backstreet Boys or whatever. Those certainly were not, my kind of music. It just wasn't. So, but he was a powerhouse in the industry. He has been very low key over the last few years. He's kind of dialed it back. He's been, at home with Jessica Biel, quelling cheating rumors, all that stuff. So he's been kind of quiet. And I believe they've been very, very quiet with their kids. They've been very successful in keeping their kids very well under wraps and maintaining some kind of privacy for them. So this is kind of pulling him out of the industry. Now this gets interesting where we have that Six of Wands or Six of Swords, because because the Six of Swords is really distancing yourself from the situation. I was just listening to Shallon Lester, and she has some very strong opinions about the Britney book. I didn't listen to the whole thing, but one of the things that she said was not to, you have to take accountability for your actions. So you can't say, well, I got into this situation with my high school boyfriend. Essentially, he's a high school boyfriend. And he made me do X, Y, and Z. So, it's, I don't feel a certain way about it. I do need to read the book before I can, have an opinion about it. I'm sure if somebody went back and talked to my high school boyfriend, a lot of people feeling a certain way. But how is okay? He is going to have to come out and make a very surface kind of statement about this. So this is going to be very tricky. This is going to be work cut out for a very, very crafty PR person. They're going to have to not backtrack about this. And it's almost like, making a statement. We, instead of addressing the specifics of what happened and what she purports had happened in the book, but saying, we, my wife and I really support the recovery of people that have mental illness. It's like taking it in a totally different direction. This is like straight up Chris Voss stuff. Like, if you guys don't know who Chris Voss is, he's a former law enforcement hostage negotiator, and he trains people to in corporate and other types of business to negotiate better. He's got a book, Never Split the Difference. It's fantastic. If you don't know it, get it. But he's really an interesting dude. But this is kind of the situation. This is the PR response that they would have to have. Is, we understand that, people will have certain feelings about what has happened in the past, but we have always supported those that are mentally ill, blah, 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 blah. So that's kind of the response they're going to have. That is going to put him back in place professionally, and it'll get the people in the industry behind him again. It will renew their faith in him and the PR, the presentation that he's going to put out there. But is it going to make him look like a great person? Not really. It's going to make him look good from the inside, but not from the outside. So the world of music, the producers, the money makers, the men in suits, the women in suits, the people that are running it, it's going to appease them. It's not going to appease the fans. So is it really going to damage him long term? Are we going to see long-term damage to his career? Long-term damage. I think there's going to be a certain amount of culpability that won't wash off for the way that Britney is now. I think they're going to say that he contributed to the state that she was in previously and possibly is now. I think they're going to give him a little bit of that. And in my opinion, I don't think that that's blame that's correctly ascribed to him. I don't think that he had that much control over her life. I think this was a high school romance. Let's call it what it is. It was a high school romance. They were kids. The Mickey Mouse Club was basically their high school. So, this is something that's going to stick with him. Is it a Fatty Arbuckle kind of situation that's going to devastate his career? I don't think so, but I think he's going to lose some likability. So we'll have to see. It really depends on how he's going to respond to things in the future. So that we have to kind of keep an eye on for him. So that's unfortunate. You know what? Honestly, like we all got history. Yeah, I'm just putting it out there. We all have history. So everybody needs to not judge quite so much. So, oh, and Hutch is going to put on his community page. I'll save that to my community page. That's his optimum program. We're going to get started on the 1st on Wednesday. So everybody eat your candy while you can. And then we're going to get in there and we're going to get our butts back in gear with Hutch. So, and Mel's going to be there too. So we are going to get our act together. So, and Justin Timberlake is far too famous. I agree with that. I don't know if I agree with that. So we'll see. There's my Miranda. Yeah, follow me. My Instagram is it's not safe for work, but it's funny. I'm going to be more active on there as Miranda. So I do have a Fortune Cookies Tarot Insta too, and my girlfriend Shelly runs it, but we just haven't flexed it that much. So you know, we'll have some fun with it. But Miranda Von Scuttlebutt's a name that I write fiction under too. So we have some fun with that. So let's see, what else do we have? Lots of chocolates. Yes, Prima. We've got a jar full of chocolates that I keep dipping into. I had pasta last night like a maniac. All right, so let me see. And TD, thank you so much. Please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't. Oh, and these are my trolls. These are my trolls that come in. They come in and they try and take my clients. They're like, Gemma, I am feeling better, but I'm not 100%. I am so wiped out from that stupid cold. I was watching The Crown for 3 days. It was great. That part was great. It wasn't great sweating on the couch, but you disagree. That's okay. Jano, you can disagree with that. That's totally cool. You know, you know, if it's his karma, if it's something. See, when we read tarot, we're reading the energies that were dealt, so we can you know, modify them. That's one of the things that I do with my clients all the time. You know, we can take a look. Say you're going for a job interview and you're up against two other employees at the same company. You know, you're all going for a bump up. We can take a look at the strengths and the weaknesses of those other employees, and you can kind of capitalize on those, if so to speak. You can look at the ideal candidate that leadership wants in there, and we can see all that in the cards. And you can, you know, that's why, you know, psychic work, tarot work, it's a superpower. You can see beyond, you know, what's going on in the surface. So it's pretty cool, you know. So as far as what's going on with Justin Timberlake, if he modifies his response to this, like, he can go in a couple of different ways. He can, you know, take the book and go, no, that's wrong. She was completely bananas. And, you know, that's terrible. And, you know, I'm not going to take it. And he could respond like that and come off seeming like another, you know, like a super jerk. Or he can kind of do the PR route and kind of let this die on the vine. So, so the book has been written to cause controversy, as she's not been in the media for years. So, like somebody else we know, Trevor, that's going to write a book and cause some controversy. I can't wait for that one to come out. So I'll be first on the library takeout book for Meghan Markle. So, you know, and that's something I just read on Britney not long ago. And you know, I always was like, you know, have some decorum, I think after you're a mom and after you're a certain age, no, you know, this isn't like SLUT shaming anyone, but I just feel like you should have some decorum. And she's the princess of pop. I do feel like she should not have to bear herself like that at this age. I mean, certainly, you know, they say, oh, yes, we're talking about Britney. Yeah. So, you know, I think at a certain point, you know, you shouldn't be out there like that, you know, especially if your kids are, you know, taking issue with it. So let's take a look at Britney. Let's see how she's doing. And you know what? We're going to pull out Ellen Cannon Reed. Let the censors be damned. So Madonna's another one, Prima, that I have a huge problem with. Put your damn clothes on. I don't want to see your butt after you're 60. It looks good. You got a Brazilian, but you know, no one needs to see that. That you should have. There should be some level of decorum. Just in my opinion, you can be the queen of pop. You can be the princess of pop. We've already seen it when it looked really, really good without plastic surgery. So just, you know, be sexy, but be covered up. You know, there are ways to do that. There are ways to do that. So, all right, let's see how Britney's doing. We're using my Ellen Cannon Reed deck. You guys know this is a rare deck that I love. This is like my second deck that I ever got. And we've got the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. This is all Britney here. And the 10 of Pentacles. Now, I read on her not long ago, and it was, you know, she was kind of doing all the right things. It was after the whole Sam thing, and she was doing the right thing. She had things in order. Now, this looks like we're getting a little bit wiggly. So we've got the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. And this, we can get this Wheel of Fortune when we're dealing with people who have fluctuations of mood, if you guys know what I'm saying. Definitely fluctuations of mood here. I think there's not, you know, my husband's half Japanese, and he prides himself on being very, very reasonable and logical. And he says he's a 5. And here he comes. Say hi. Mr. 5, are you at a 5? He's at a 5. So Greg prides himself at being at a 5 all the time. But then he married this insane half Italian girl who goes up to like 65 on a scale of 1 to 10, and I go down to like negative 102. So he's always at a 5. Like, he likes to stay very, very reasonable and very level. I do not. I'm all over the place, and my son is the same way. My daughter kind of stays at a 5. She's pretty well balanced. But this definitely, when we get the Wheel of Fortune reverse, that's some. What's that? You want a puppy? Gregopedia wants a puppy. 7.5. He'll be a 7.5. So, all right. So that was something. So I asked Gregopedia when we got Raven. We were driving home, and I said, you know, she was a little puppy. She was 10 weeks old, I think, 8 weeks old. And I said, oh my God, I said, are you at a 5 right now? And he goes 7.5. And I was like, oh, that's so cute. And so I was petting Raven, and she threw up on my lap because they fed her stupidly before we got her. And as we're driving down the road, we're coming from Pennsylvania. It was like an hour and a half. I said, so what were you like when you kissed me the first time? What was it?
Yeah, 5.6.
It was a 5.6 when he kissed me. So the puppy was a 7.5, and I was a 5.6. I'm not bitter. Not at all. Not at all. But I love you, Greg. So I think this instability is causing her some uncomfortableness at home, because we have this 10 of Pentacles in reverse. So not unlike the uncomfortableness when my husband tells me that 5.6 when he kissed me the first time. Not to mention that he waited how long? A lifetime for it. So whatever. You can see what today's theme is going to be. I'll be talking about that the whole time. So now back to Britney. So this instability is causing her to have some questions about home and about the wholeness of her home. So when we get the 10 of Pentacles in upright, this is, we've got our ducks in a row. Our house is very happy. We've got some legacy going. Kids are happy. Everything is really terrific. So what we're seeing here is that the instability, these lower moments that she's having, this fluctuation of mood, is creating this illusion that things are not so great in the house. She's not happy with everything that's going on with her. So then we go into this 7 of Wands, which is trying to seek that balance, trying to regain the equilibrium that we have here. So I think even if she is experiencing some fluctuations of mood, she is actively practicing to put them back into place. So we're not going to see that kind of crisis that she had. I guess it was in 2008 or 9. That was, I think that was the troubled time of Britney. And she is committed to looking back at her life and the decisions that she's made and making some judgments on those. Are her judgments always going to be great? No, because the judgment card is in reverse. So I think we're going to see a bit more finger pointing and blaming. You led me in the wrong direction. You did some wrong things for me. Underneath it all, I don't think that she's trying to do the wrong thing. Our Queen of Cups is here. I think she really does want to be a good mother. She wants to be a good person. I think she does really try. And there were so many people that have gotten in the way of that she hasn't been able to do it. Up here, the Eight of Pentacles, there's something about her not able to work. So this is, oh, Foxy, yes, you're in, baby. You're in. Hello, Foxy. Good evening, dear. So there's something that's not allowing her to work. And that idle hands are the devil's workshop. Isn't that how the saying goes? So this is creating some issues for her. Now, I don't know if this is contractual issues or if this is just there's a dearth of work, or she's busy with the split from Sam. Was that his name? Sam, the last guy? So let's see. Let's see what's the cause of this. Foxy, we're just reading on Britney Spears right now. We're just seeing how she's doing. Things are at a standstill. It's because of the divorce. She really can't do anything because of the divorce right now. So I think she may be advised to not do anything commercially, not work right now, because it's going to chip away at the stone or interfere with having the divorce coming up. So that's an interesting thing. So that's going to stink. Like right now, her job is getting divorced. Is that a fun thing? No. Is it a necessary thing? Yes, she's going to have to do it. So I think she's going to be okay. I think, this is extremely encouraging, because even though she's having these moments of doubt and questioning, she's still trying to right the ship, and she's doing it in a logical way. So I think she's going to be okay. Now, I said before the book was released that she should write a book and tell the tales that need to be told. So good for her. I'm glad she did. And I do have some opinions on the Matthew Perry thing, but I may hold off a little bit. The autopsy was done today. I was not a huge Friends fan, but I did think he was adorable, and I loved him in the movie with Salma Hayek, Fools Rush In. That was an awesome movie. It was great. But I have some opinions. If the autopsy came back inconclusive, now they have to wait for toxicology, which really stinks. So, TD, you know what? I've heard other people say that, and I don't know if I agree with that. I don't think that's what happened. I went back and I went back and looked at some of the pictures, and he was not looking great recently. He looked not good, just looked a little funky. So hang on one sec. Liquid sugar, ginger ale. Delicious. So it's not going to be liquid ginger ale or liquid sugar after this. I'm going to have an actual proper adult beverage. As this is basically our first day off in like 2 weeks. So I had the whole family here. My son stayed home from school, and we had a big breakfast, pancakes, bacon, eggs, scrambled eggs, and breakfast potatoes at like 1:30 in the afternoon. So what's that?
Before you go on to the next subject.
Okay.
With Britney.
What about
all the spinning she's doing? She's trying to turn into Wonder Woman.
So Gregopedia wants to know if, with all the spinning that Britney's doing, if she's trying to turn into Wonder Woman. I'm going to say no, but I may try that later. So, super, super fun. She has the best-selling book. Yeah, and she beat Prince Harry's. Yeah, Prince Harry's book was not great. So, yeah. not great.
Isn't the prerequisite for writing a book knowing how to read?
Oh, burn, Gregopedia. So Prince Harry's book, I actually got it on Audible because he read it, and it was everything that I expected it to be. You have no idea what it's like to hear that guy drone on. It was pretty hilarious. So all right, so let's do this. Yes, we have Hutchie, Mel, Penny, and Trevor is here. I think Trevor's still here. But we've got Celtic Rune Singer. Oh, Hutch, yeah, Hutch. That's what I'm wondering. Because initially I was like, he looked terrible in those. Why not? Let's take a look. So, are we going to see revealing stuff in the toxicology report? And that's really a shame if we are. We're going to get one card on this, and then I'm going to leave it at that because I don't want to dig. I don't want to pry too deeply. So that's the home card. That's Four of Wands, and Four of Wands is typically a yes. It's typically a yes. So, if that's the case, it really stinks. It'll be really unfortunate. But I do know, very, very interesting when you do have those kinds of substance problems, your body does take the yeah, he did. Yeah, Prima, that's what I saw too. He looked bloated and just kind of beat up. Yeah, he just looked beat up. So let me scroll up a little bit.
Did he have too much beer?
No, no, but that my first guess was that he had blood clots, Gregopedia. I was like, this is Celtic Rune, just a quick pop in. Love it when you're here. Mel wants to eat at our house. Come on over. We're like a half hour from New York City. Come over.
New York City.
New York City. Well, come over. We'll get you sorted out, and we'll have a blast. We will take you guys around. That's the Melon and Paul, the Hutches.
They're in New York?
No, they're in England, but I'm telling them to come over.
Somebody was in New York.
No, but we're right here. Like that New York is the draw. Well, I don't know. New York is like it's like Escape from New York now. It's a mess there. So, but we are going to try and put together, Gregopedia and I are going to try and put together a group trip for all of our friends to go to Munich next year for Oktoberfest, I guess, in September. And because Oktoberfest is the last 3 weeks of September and the first week of October. And we're going to try and do a little skip over into England for a little bit. So, we will keep you guys aware. So Mel, if they did the autopsy today, so they didn't see anything. It was inconclusive. It's really kind of a bummer. Yeah, and Hutch, that's what I thought, Paul. I thought it looked like he was kind of bloated. And at the reunion, they said he was slurring, but that he had dental work done. Now, we all know what happens when you get dental work. Sometimes they give you those little magic prescriptions that cause some problems. So yeah, that kind of stinks. So with that, I'm gonna leave him alone for a little bit. We'll leave that alone. So I'm sure more will come out. It was close enough, TD. I'm jealous your brother-in-law's in Munich. Yeah, Penny, if we were going to put together like a trip with a what do you call it, a travel agent, and go over with a big group. So I'll loop you in on that. I'll send over an email to you and let you know what's going on. Because if you want, you just hop in on it, and we'll get a bunch of people. We'll stay in a big castle, get crazy. We'll be in the tents having a great time. So, all right. Anything in the news? Foxy, speaking of alcohol, I went out this evening for about 2 beers for heading back for Hutch's live stream. Yeah, I missed Hutch's live stream. I took a full shower for the first time in a few days. I kept not washing my hair because we had to run in and out to competitions. It was just complete bedlam for the whole weekend and Halloween shows. So let's do this. Well, let's take a look at. I showed everybody the deck you got me, Greg.
Okay.
So now
Did it show up? Looks kind of hard to see.
It did show up, yes. So we're just going to wash it out a little bit, and we'll do some readings for it. And everybody that just got in, TD, had a happy birthday and anniversary this weekend. So throw her some flowers in the comments. Give her some flowers. She's the best moderator ever. Whoop, we got an extra card in here. What's this guy? Look at this guy. We're going to put him on the side. All right. So case of the 19-year. Oh, what's going on? Let me see that. It's not in the news much here. And her baby Alexa. What happened? I'm not sure what's going on. Let me look it up on the other screen. 19-year-old and baby Alexi. Oh my goodness. Oh, that was the, was that the gal who, yes, that was terrible. Yes, jump on in. So I'm going to use a different deck for her. I'm not going to use that fun new deck. So let's just see. What was it? Alexi Treviso. Treviso. She's a 19-year-old girl. She's actually at the hospital, gave birth, and the baby was found in the trash unalived. So let's see what's going on with her. Oh, what are you singing?
Prom night comes to me.
What?
Prom night comes to me.
Oh, you can't sing that.
Yeah.
No. I don't think there's any new news on this. Yeah, I don't think there's any news. Oh, she's so young though. She's a young kid. So let's see how she's doing right now. Not fun. So Gregopedia is making dark humor jokes on the other side of the room because that's how we cope. Gregopedia and I have a hard time going to funerals together because we both cope with dark humor, and sometimes we are inappropriate. So nonetheless, so the Seven of Wands again is about being, balancing, trying to figure out which direction you're going to go in. So this kid was really struggling with this. At the end of that day, she made the wrong decision. This was not a decision that she made. She was not in her right mind at the moment. It really was a rash, panicked decision. They shouldn't have left her alone. Is that the fault of the hospital? I'm not going to say that it was, but they shouldn't have left her alone. That she should have been, she should have been supervised. And I think this is what they are really coming out with. That she was not in a good state. Yeah, she was not in a good state, and I think that this is our defense, that it's a provable defense. I think that they're going to come up with for her. Does that make it okay? No, it doesn't. Absolutely not. But I think this is what they're going to say, is that she really was at her wit's end. Ultimately, I think that they're going to sort her out. I think this Three of Cups is an unusual card to see at the end of this, because that is celebration, happiness. But I think they are going to, really sort her out and get her some help. Is this going to affect her long term? Absolutely. This is going to be a very, very bad black mark on her, for herself, what people see, and what she sees in herself. So I don't think that there's a very bright future or recovery future for this kid. I do think that they're going to go with the not in the right state of mind kind of defense on this, and I think that that's what they're going to go forward with. I don't think it's great, but I think that that's what I don't think they have a choice. I think that's really where they have to go with this. So that's sad. So we've got more trolls. Liliana and I don't even know how you say that. So all right. Yes, you can join in the list if you would like a reading. Just tell me what you want. Fitness Hutch said, never Google anything that Mel says. Yeah, I can say the same thing about Gregopedia sometimes too. So here, just you just put in the comments. Yeah. So, yes, it's very hard to believe that. So, while we're waiting for that, and here we've got it right here. What are Shav's or Chav's next actions or feelings for you romantically? Let's see about that. Well, the first thing I want to do is see if Shav's intentions are romantic. So we're going to pull one card. So there's some consideration here, going back and forth. Again, it's the Seven of Wands keeps showing up today. It's crazy. It's Seven of Wands day. So weighing options, weighing where he's going to go. So let's do this. Yeah, one past, present, and future. So in the past, the emotions are muddled with that Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups doesn't know what he's doing. Our knights typically rush into the room and blurt out whatever they're going to say. They are very active. I always tell people to think of our knights as questing for something. They're, getting in there, rolling up their sleeves and making it happen. So back here, this is not knowing what way he wants to go emotionally. So not understanding the emotions that are at hand. At present, opening up a bit like a flower. So when the Four of Pentacles is in reverse, we're very secretive. We're keeping things close to our chest. Now he's opening up like a flower. So I think in the future, if the cards are correct, we are going to see this Knight of Swords come with messages. So what kind of messages can we expect from this young studly stud kicking down the door and coming in to say something? What can we expect from him? innermost feelings. So I think he's not quite ready to settle down yet. This Knight of Pentacles is somebody who's still not sure. So that kind of makes sense with this. He's opening up. He's going to say more, have more to say about it, but he's still not entirely sure. This High Priestess is still kind of wrangling with the information that he has at hand and the information that he doesn't have. He's still trying to figure out what else is going on there, like weighing his choices, weighing the options here. The world not quite ready to level up and go to that next level. So if we're waiting for an engagement ring, if we're waiting for an invitation to go out, if we're waiting to meet parents or something like that, not quite ready to do that. He's still in command of all of his faculties in his world around him. He still wants to be very much in control of that. There's something also here about still wanting to build that that lifestyle, build up the world that he wants to live in before he brings somebody over. Now, over here underneath, we've got the Seven of Swords in reverse, which the Seven of Swords in reverse is about revealing things. So we may find out that there's some other suitors here that he's entertaining or that he's thinking about. So don't be surprised about that, because he is kind of weighing all of his options. So so that's really what I'm thinking. So let me just kind of scroll down here. Let me see. Scrolling. And a short period of contact, but connect soon again. Okay, so that makes sense. And Rosebud, just sit tight. I see your comment there. Hang on one second. And what is the advice for this connection? Okay, so just sit tight. What do you need to know? Again, we have that Four of Pentacles in reverse. I just want to bring these up a little bit so we can see them a little bit better. So we've got Four of Pentacles in reverse, the Queen of Wands, which matches our King of Wands up here, the Three of Pentacles upright, Two of Pentacles in reverse, and the Three of Cups. So this is be as open and honest as possible. Maintain your own autonomy. Don't rely on combining lives at this point. Maintain your autonomy, because in that sense, you both grow and strengthen on your own. And then when you come together with this Three of Pentacles, we have two strong entities that are working together. So that's not to say gain some finances or something, but keep going with your dreams, with your endeavors. Keep going ahead with that. The Two of Pentacles, it's important. It's in reverse. So it's important to have that. I keep hitting my mic. It's important to have stability by oneself before we start bringing in other people and start doing those kinds of things. And that having that autonomy, having that strength of self is going to make this a much better union. So that, I think, we're still in the growth phase. It's not growth with the relationship together. This is growth individually. So patience with this one. He's still trying to, make his plans and figure out where he wants to be. So just patience with this one a little bit longer. So thank you so much. And if you are so inclined, please make a contribution through any of my Cash apps or through the what am I trying to say? The chat feature. Yeah, the idiom. Yes. I know I'm still sick, guys. I'm sorry. So, all right. So we have Rosebud, my daughter's ex, planning on taking her back to custody. Oh my goodness. Okay. So let's see what that X is thinking about here. Let's see. And we're getting sloppy shuffle again. So off the bat, I'm trying to tap into his disposition, and I can't quite get there. So I do think that there is a lawyer involved who's told him, don't tell anybody anything. So if he is considering doing something, what is going on is that the lawyer has told him, don't tell anybody, don't discuss it with anybody, not your best friend, not anybody. The guy is clammed up really, really tight. So the Four of Cups in reverse, we are out of the thinking phase and we're going into an action phase with other people. We're moving into that part of it. So I think that that's happening. This is looking, the Two of Pentacles is looking for more equilibrium. So if he's looking for more custody, I don't think he's looking to eradicate custody. I think he's looking to get more benefit, maybe less child support, maybe more time. He's trying to get more balance. Presenting well. I think if this is the case, if he's trying to do this, the intention is to spend more time with the child. I'm not getting that this is somebody who is really doing this with bad intent. It's really, and this is what's coming through in the cards. So, I'm reading his perspective. His perspective is trying to spend more time with his child, trying to get the courts to give him more. He is willing to fight for it, though. So that's something to keep in mind. He is willing to fight for it, but he wants to return to a time in the past where things were much cozier. He was able to have much more influence over the child they have in common. He wants to be able to participate more and contribute more. So that's really what's going on here. And I do think he's doing it with good intent. That will present very, very well to the court. What should your daughter know in order to work within this kind of framework? If she is served with a request to go in and make changes to the custody and support or maintenance agreements. So she needs to absolutely look at a bigger picture here. And I'm getting very strongly that this is going to be very hard for her to do that, to look at the bigger picture from, it's almost like step into her daughter's, I hit my mic again, sorry guys, almost step into her daughter's shoes and kind of look with her daughter's eyes at the situation. If she does that, I think she's going to have a very different perspective. Hang on one second, guys.
Remember, you're not a lawyer.
What'd you say?
Remember, you're not a lawyer.
I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. We're just taking, remember, you're not a lawyer. Remember, thou art mortal. So she does need to see from the perspective of the child and look at it with a holistic view. So this is a situation where she's going to need to empty her cup and look at, the benefit for the child in common. So, and just to be careful that she doesn't ruffle the situation. I think he's coming in with a very smooth pitch and perspective. So, what we can do is just make sure that she has a smooth and calm response to whatever is presented to her. So really that I think is key, because having a more emotional response or trying to keep things status quo may be more disruptive, because I think they're going to turn around and be like, well, this in the best interest. I think we're going to get an in the best interest kind of response from the court. So that'll be interesting. Above all, she needs to remain calm. That's really important for her to remain calm. Deborah, hello, my friend. Hello, my friend. So hang on, I'm just going to see. Check and see if we have a question in the Cash App. I don't even know if we can get questions in the Cash App. Thank you very much. Okay. So no questions in there. So let me scroll up. I think it's in the comments. Aha, sorry. There we go. So how does B the Taurus feel about me? Would he like a relationship? We are ex-lovers from years ago that have reunited in the last year. So what we have with B is there was some soul searching that was going on previously. So this is like a past, present, future kind of thing. So I want to see like the trajectory. So there was soul searching. And I think that that's why the relationship went the way it did previously, why there was the split up before. Now, at this point in his life, he is making and breaking the different relationships in his life, making sure that they're beneficial. Now, this is always a terrible thing to say, like, what are you getting out of the relationship? What how is it serving you best? Is it aligning with your goals? Is it working with you? And that's something that B has been figuring out. So he is cutting out the parts that really do not serve him well. He is maximizing those parts of his life and those relationships that do serve him well. Are you part of them? Because here in the future, we see unhappiness. Are you part of that cleanup? Are you going to be still standing around after this? He would like to retain you. And I know it sounds terrible, like to retain you. He would like to retain you in his world, but he's not sure where you fit. He's not sure if you are romantic or not. Heart of the matter. Yeah, he's very, very indecisive about this. Under the surface is 10 of Wands, which this is almost like any relationship would be, kind of a lot for him to to cope with. So there's something about not feeling that he is the right guy for you. So I don't know if this is the story, that if he told you this, like, it's not me, you deserve somebody better than me. You know, one of my girlfriends just went through something like this, and you know, the guy was saying, you know, you deserve better. What are you doing with a guy like me? Like, you deserve better. You deserve better. So this is something that he needs to work out on his own. This kind of I'm not good enough for you. I'm not the right guy for you. That's something that he has to work on his own. He is growing into it. So he is growing up and growing into this. So will he eventually get his act together? What's that?
He's a loner, Daddy. Rebel.
So, Pee Wee Herman, yes, loner daddy, rebel. So this again, he's not sure where he wants to hang his hat. He's not. This is somebody, and I tell people all the time, like my private clients that are looking for, you know, counseling and guiding in their lives. Like, I tell them, you have to envision the life that you want. You have to envision the wife, the experience, what your kitchen looks like, what kind of couch you have. You have a futon, or do you have like a really fancy couch with legs that nobody can sit on because it's really stiff? Do you have, you know, throws all over the place so you can snuggle up with a blanket? Or do you, you know, is it a very stiff living room where, you know, you just have, you know, everyone's very stiff and you can't have a cup of tea in there? You know, you really have to envision the life that you want. He does not have the vision of the life that he wants. So that's why he can't quite craft a wife that fits in there. So once we see the house, once we see the you know, the kitchen, the living room, the dog, that then we can kind of decide what kind of wife we need. So if we want to live on a farm, we're not going to have like a Paris Hilton, you know, glamour girl in the kitchen. We're going to have somebody who, you know, doesn't mind going out and gardening and going out to the kitchen garden and doing those kinds of things. So this is part of the issue, is that he just doesn't have that vision there yet. So let's take a look at you before we go any further, because that's enough of him. We can see his indecision.
Not sure.
He's not sure.
Not sure where to be.
He's not sure where to be. That was our dog Bruno. He used to say that we would do his inner monologue, Greg and I. He had an English accent, and he was not sure where he needed to be.
I'll just follow in front of you then.
Yes, he would just follow in front. Oh, Debbie, I see that. Yes, class is going to start probably the first week of December. I just have a couple of fine tuning things, and then class is going to start the first week of December. So since you were in my prior class, you will be invited gratis. So let's see. Sorry, stick with me, honey. Oh, and sorry, you don't have to donate just yet. Let's stick with me on this. Just hang on. Hang on, honey. So how should you manage this? So instincts are going to be very, very keen for you. Okay. You're going to be a woman of little words. Oh, I don't want to see this one. Hang on. So when we meet somebody who we're really keen on and our stomach flutters, that is sometimes our psychic instinct saying this is a person that you should pay attention to. And I say this all the time. When Ted Bundy, the serial guy, when he encountered some of the women who evaded his ultimate goal, let's put it that way, they all said their stomach got upset. They had a very upset stomach when they met him. And that is our psychic abilities that are kicking in, our horse sense, our monkey brain, all of that's kicking in and telling us. So sometimes we will get those butterfly effect, butterflies in your stomach, not butterfly effect, but butterflies in your stomach that will kind of let you know that this is somebody extra special and that, you should pay attention to them. Pay attention to the nudges, the physical nudges that your psychic ability, your horse sense is going to give you. It's going to tell you when to be quiet and when to drop breadcrumbs of information with this person. We don't want to overload him because he is so indecisive. So we don't want to overload him with information or information about us. A little mystery on your part is going to be to your benefit. Keep him guessing. Let him think about what else makes Sari tick. So the mistakes that you've made in the past, you need to make sure that you don't do those again. Okay. So if you mentioned, I don't know, horseback riding to him and he bristled because he had a bad horseback riding experience with another girl, I'm just like making this up. What I want you to do is make sure that you don't do that again. So the things that the pitfalls of the relationship, the comments, the discussions that you've had in the past, if they created difficulty, I want you to stay away from those topics, because what'll happen is he will pull away. It will cause you anxiety, and you will not be able to kind of get yourself out of that. So I really, the issues that this individual has, not necessarily with you, you're great. He's trying to figure out where he's going to proceed from here. He's trying to figure out the setting that he's going to proceed for the rest of his life in. So will you fit into that setting? It depends on what kind of setting he's going to set up. And I agree. Yes, he is a lot of work. Is it worth the work? Down here, your concern, we have the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. Your concern is that this isn't the place where you can land and hang your hat. But up here, we've got a lot of emotion for him. We like him, and that's okay. That's okay. We can like people, and we can love people, and we can enjoy people that we're not going to wind up with forever and anon. You can enjoy the moment. I think taking some pressure off this guy and just enjoying the moment, going out for an ice cream, going out for a nice stroll in the park, I think is a good thing. Let him he needs to cook a little bit more. He needs to, he's like an unbaked cake. He's got to cook a little bit in the oven. So let him grow up a little. I say this a lot, let him grow up a little bit, but he's got to grow up a little bit. So, and just figure out where he's going. And that's an easy thing. So, I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for your donation. I did see it went through, so I appreciate that. So let me see what else. Wife of a grumpy old Marine. I saw you had a problem making the payment, but I do see on the other one that you made a payment. So here, I'll get there. I want to answer Foxy's question here because it's a cool question. How would I feel if a 7-foot guy chased me around the streets? I'm only 5'2". I'm barely 5'2", so I would be alarmed by that, especially if it was like an alien like they had out in California. It's I don't run very fast. I'm at an advanced age. But I saw another question from you. Hang on. We're my girlfriends and I, we're of an age where, some fun stuff is going on with relationships. So, how about no? Thanks, Melanie. Yeah, those trolls are in there. So Foxy, my first car. Yeah, let's talk about some old classic cars. We actually had a parade of classic cars. We have car shows that go on locally right here all the time. But my first car is a 65 Mustang, is pony interior. It was a beautiful vehicle. I loved that car. I will have another one day. And then I had a 68 Camaro right after it, very briefly. I am a muscle car girl. I do like them, you know. So, and the town that I'm from, there's a great interest in muscle cars. In fact, my son wants to get a Hellcat. He wants a new Hellcat, and I
Hell no.
yeah, hell no. Like, you know, I'll get one and maybe let him look at it or wash it. But you know, he's still a little guy. He's not driving anytime soon. So but no, I'm a huge fan of classic cars. I love the old muscle cars, the old I like the bumpy Corvettes. You know, I'm not like a Corvette connoisseur, but I do like the bumpy Corvettes and Alfa Romeos. Like, I would love to have an Alfa Romeo Spider. That would be a wish list car for me, absolutely. But another '65 Mustang would make me incredibly happy. Incredibly, if I ever won the lottery, literally that I would call like an attorney, like a lottery, you know, attorney, and my accountant. And I would say, buckle up, guys, because I got a lot of work for you to do, but you got to free up some cash for me right now because I got to go get a Mustang. That would be, you know, I would make sure that I got another '65 Mustang. That wouldn't even be negotiable, and it wouldn't have to be convertible, but maybe I would get two. So I do look at them. I save them on my Facebook Marketplace all the time. So. Oh, Vicky loves our English accent. Yes, Bruno is a very proper dog. He is wonderful. He was a wonderful dog. So, oh, wife of a grumpy old Marine. Thank you, my dear. So, what is your question? Do you have a specific question? Here we go. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's see. Yeah, he's not a good person. He's incredibly selfish. And that's really the problem with him, is that he is just incredibly self-motivated. So this is what I think. So he's kind of a thorn in everybody's side. He's just kind of there right now. He's not really dissolving, let's put it that way. He's just not really kind of going anywhere. If he meets someone, this is going to be your, you know, the best thing. If he meets someone, that's when we'll see him disappear. That's when we'll see him kind of fade out. You know, if he gets married, certainly we're going to see him fade out. I think, you know, given whomever he winds up with, it's really, and that's kind of the wild card here. This is the one that we, you know, we don't know who he's going to be with, because I don't see that there's somebody in particular that's going to be this motivating factor for him right now. But if he finds that person that he wants to stay with, then we're going to see him kind of dissolve a little bit more. If the person that he winds up with is gung-ho on having the kids and having a relationship of her own with the kids, then we may see some more sticking, you know, more motivation to be involved with the children. But it won't be him. Once he gets into this new relationship, it's going to be more of his you know, suiting his fancy, suiting what he wants to do. In the meantime, what does your daughter do? What does your daughter do? So even if it's difficult to not pressure for, again, and I'm not an attorney. I'm not a custody specialist, but when we push for more monies, or when we start to get into that situation, what winds up happening is there's kind of a reflex to that, and I think it's not that he's going to push back and ask for more custody or anything like that. He's just going to push back with a lot of crap energy. That's really the best way I can say it. It's just going to be difficult, and that I think is going to be same old, same old. It'll cause some bumps in the road, but is it going to really drive your daughter nuts? Not necessarily, because at this point she's really used to the bad behavior. She's used to the selfishness and the difficulty, the grinding of personalities with him. She's really used to that. So at this point she just really needs to stay the course with her kids. If she needs more money, she's got to find more money, because I just don't think he's not a great resource for that. Again, if he meets this other person, that any resources that he is giving her is going to change. And that I just don't think the fight is it wrong to not go back for past due child support, those kinds of things. Yeah, it really stinks, but the reality being someone who has an ex. I have one ex who is not forthcoming on that support part. It's not worth the fight. For me, it's not worth the fight in this situation. I think he's not justified in a courtroom or anything like that, but it just creates a lot of drama that could otherwise be sidestepped. So if that makes sense. So what should you do, though, wife of a grumpy Marine? What should you do in the meantime? What can you do? Because we're talking about all the motivations and actions of others, but what can you do as grandma? So this is definitely help out if you can. This, and not let him know, of course. Help out if you can, and to be a presence, not a an alleged presence, or someone who may or may not be there, but be a presence, be a positive, motivating presence in that world. Because this individual, again, very, very selfish. If somebody picks up his slack, he's not going to complain about it. He's just going to tra-la-la through his day. He's going to, oh, that's fine. Kids have sneakers. He's not going to be that. Now, it's the devil card. I don't want you to get freaked out, because I don't want you to be the devil. I don't want you to be mean. But the devil is someone who digs his claws in and gets in there. It's like a thorn that doesn't go away. So this is about connection and stick-to-itiveness. When he had children with your daughter, he had grandchildren for you. You're not going anywhere, and that's good. So I don't want you to look at that card like it's a negative thing. Hang on one second, guys. So here, the Five of Pentacles is in reverse. This is about disappointment, being cast out. This is not going to happen to your daughter. Okay, so she is going to be inclusive, but we may see information that may have to be on parade. So, if she does need help, if she does need, a leg up, if she needs the kids to come over and stay for a bit. I know when I was little, we used to go to, my grandmother called it Camp We Don't Want Ya. So here in the United States, we have a lot of camps that are named Indian names. And so my grandmother made up Camp We Don't Want Ya, which was great for my self-esteem. Felt really treasured as a child. But we would go there and we would stay with my grandmother for the summer so that my mom could work. You know, it was you know, a good place to be. And this feels very similar, like that there's an outlet. They can go to grandma's, they can kind of let their hair down, they can run amok and eat candy and cookies and, you know, macaroni and cheese out of the box, that kind of stuff. So you know, I think that be present, don't be overbearing and like raw, like the monster in the room, like you're not going to be the dragon, but be there to catch as needed. So I think that's really the best way to look at things. So you know, is he going to actively disappear today? No, but if he does find that love of his life 2025, you know, or 2024, he may start to drift a little. So that'll be a relief, you know, at least for some time. So let me scroll down. I hope that helped. Thank you so much for your contribution, my dear. Thank you. And I'm just gonna hide this. And then Vicky, I'm scrolling down. Oh, okay, sorry. Will you be happy overall if you move back to Germany? So past, present, future, in the past, things were not set up for you to thrive there. So there were some missing elements. Now you're thinking very fondly of moving back there, and there are opportunities in the future for you to start anew, have some new endeavors moving forward. So will you be happy going back there? Yes, I do think so. And there will be some opportunities that are coming up. So you know, will this have a beneficial effect on your child? No, I'm seeing no for the moment, but I'm getting that it's a language thing. If your son does not speak German, that there would be a period of transition to assimilate back into that culture and into the language. Is that remediable? Ultimately, yes. It'll just take some time. There'd be a bit more of a transition process than if you were going, say, from New York to California, because you know, it's still the same language, it's approximately the same culture. You know, it's very different when you're going from you know, one language to another. Doing that, you know, culturally, I think it's going to be a bit of a shakeup too. So I hope that helps. So. And let me see. So Foxy, next time we have our car show, I will do. I will take a picture. Deborah, cherry red. Mine was blue. My sister had a '69 fastback that had it was cherry red. Mustang, and it had a blazing white interior, and she totaled it, making a left at a light, and almost took me out at the same time I was in the passenger seat. So Nikki, are you being lined up for a promotion at your work? Let's see. Actually, I'm going to switch over to the Ellen Cannon read real quick. Promotion. Whenever someone says promotion, I always think of SpongeBob saying it. So, Nikki, I don't think this time around. It looks like they were doing some shifting in the past. And if your name was one that had come up, they just decided that it wasn't your time, and that happens sometimes in companies. What happens is they say, hey, well, we gotta give Bob a leg up because Bob just had twins, and Bob's been here for 5 years. We gotta get Bob moved up. So it looks like it wasn't your time just now. So, but there are things that will be changing in the future. We do have opportunities coming up. Moving into the future, they are going to need something else. They're going to need to fill some newer positions. It almost feels like they're going to be creating positions here, and that is where you could possibly jump in and try and get a seat at that table. Here we've got the Four of Wands in reverse, though. So it looks like it would be more of like a team kind of thing, that it's almost like the team would move up in terms of responsibility and positioning. It'd be like an en masse kind of, I know it sounds weird, like an en masse promotion, but it's almost like they would bring in like a younger team to do the grunt work, and then you guys would be elevated to another level. So if there was like junior architects, senior architects, you'd be moved up into the senior position instead of just being an architect. Now we'll have two different kinds. We'll have junior architects and senior architects. Not that you're an architect, but I don't know. You might be an architect. I have no idea. But did you say Vandalay Industries? So Gregopedia once again chiming in the background. Vandalay Industries. But are they moving you up personally? I don't see that. I don't see that they're shining that spotlight on you yet. So we may have to wait a little bit longer. Look, it feels very much like they're going to be shuffling some things around and getting some new people in there, which is going to be kind of neat. Some younger folk are going to be coming in and doing some of the busy work. I hate to say busy work. It's not really busy work. Vicky, why is the universe throwing so much hell my way at the moment? I mean, hell. Feeling okay. So don't lose faith. Let's start there. And we are going to want to get a fresh deck. I'm going to give you some Star Tarot here. This is one of my Thoth decks. So this, and I had a few clients that reached out to me over the weekend, and I answered them as quickly as I could while I was running from place to place. But this full moon that just went by opened up a lot of partially healed or unhealed psychic wounds. So we had the full moon was on Saturday, and we had a lunar eclipse at 4:30 a.m. my time here. So it was a pretty powerful experience. And that it was the Hunter's moon. It brought up a lot of stuff for a lot of people. A lot of people really did some transitioning. So what
did you say? Hunter's moon transitioning?
I said Hunter's moon transitioning. Why?
Be worried about Hunter.
Oh, Gregopedia again. They're not going to get that reference though. So Hunter Gatherers, he's a character on the Venture Brothers. So, what you can do when we get to these heavy transitions with lunar eclipses and full moons and whatnot is we either, we get on the roller coaster, we get on the healing roller coaster, and healing sometimes is a wild ride. Sometimes doesn't feel great. So we got to get on that. We got to scream our head off, hang on to the bar, and ride it out. Sometimes we do have to ride it out. Now, me personally, my Vedic my astrologer is Thor Sandalwood. He is on YouTube. He's fantastic, and he does Vedic astrology. And I am in the middle of the Sati Sati, which is a dark night of the soul that lasts 7 years. You know,
What year are you in?
I'm midway right now, but so this full moon had a very profound effect on me. It's almost like you get these little mini tasks, like when you have games in your phone, you get those little mini adventures that you have to go on. So my mini task was to kind of get over a lot of stuff. I recently experienced dealing with and I posted a reading on it, dealing with ish bags. You can go back and look at it, and I am dealing with the same kind of ish bag that I dealt with at my last job. And so that is the healing that I need to go through. And I also have someone in my personal biological family who is like this, and I have to chart a course of dealing with this kind of person better. So for you, Vicky Starbird, I think, we have to figure out what is the thing that's irking you that you need to heal from. So let's find it. Okay. King of Cups. Queen of Cups. All right. So we've got a nice little couple unit there. And the Six of Pentacles. Okay, generosity, looking back, and the Knight of Cups. And the Eight of Pentacles. The King of Swords. Here we go. All right, we're going to put this Death card over here. This is our Under the Surface card. So looks pretty good, right? This is a pretty good spread. We've got a nice pairing here with our King and Queen of Cups, and we even have the Knight of Cups here. So the messages are there. The Six of Pentacles is being kind and generous and dealing with each other. So I'm going to ask you this. This is a reality in your life. We have to turn toward it. So if the universe is throwing some negative things your way, we have to turn toward the things that are positive. And sometimes we can't see that because the negative things, it's like being in the game. Is it asteroids where you're spinning around in the middle, Greg?
Yes.
So you're just having a bunch of things thrown at you. When we're sitting in the middle and there's no asteroids coming at us, we're not calm because we're tense waiting for the next asteroid. And that will sometimes hide all of these good things. So what I'm going to tell you is a meditation for you. At the end of every day, you need to dump out the water. You need to dump out the cup. You can deal with all of the craziness. You can deal with all of the muck, but it's going to be in that bucket of dishwater that you have, and you have to dump it out at night. You have to get rid of it. And you have to plot the course for good things. And I tell everybody, Joe Dispenza, best meditations ever. You can find him here on YouTube. Just look up increasing positive possibilities or Dr. Joe Dispenza. I do the one, I purchased it from his website, and it's opening yourself to new possibilities or something like that. TD can also comment in here. She did some of his meditations and said they really did improve her abilities. She is a psychic as well. So doing a meditation, and like I was saying about Joe Dispenza says, when we live in anxiety, when we are dealing with pressure and stress and those kinds of things, we're sitting there wringing our hands all day long, and we are anxious and practicing to be anxious in the future. He believes that we actually reprogram all of our cellular structures in our bodies to experience more anxiety in the future. So if you have a crap job that is putting too much pressure on you, you're not making enough money, you are going to be steeped in that anxiety. You're just going to be wringing your hands and steeped in that anxiety and practicing for more in the future. So when we stop and we do his meditations and we take that concentrated hour to really focus on feeling joy. And that's the tuning into new potentials is the meditation that I do, that I bought on his website. It's $25. It's, if you have $25 to throw at that, throw it at it. It's like 48 minutes long or 50 minutes long. Do it before you go to bed. And he has you get into a meditative state. And then he has you practice what it feels like to feel the joy once you got the job of your dreams, or meet the man of your dreams, or find the dog of your dreams, right, Gregopedia? To practice that feeling of elation and excitement and emotion that you would feel, and to have that sustained in a meditative state. And what it does is it resets the program, and it resets your body to start to prepare to have these greater, more pleasant experiences in the future. And it preps you to have positive experiences coming your way. So they may manifest in different ways. You may see them manifest in some unusual ways, but they certainly will manifest. So that is what I'm seeing, is that the good things are there. You're hearing the noise. So this King of Swords in reverse is a very loud, negative voice that is screaming in your ear. Now, this could be an external negative voice. This could be somebody who is saying it to you outwardly. Could be someone who's, got their boot on your neck, trying to keep you down, make you feel terrible. But it could also be an inner voice. It could be that inner voice that practices and goes, I really stink at painting. I really stink at, and that's one of the things that I'm going to work on in the spring. So I always tell people I'm great at everything except for riding a bike and drawing. And I really can't draw, but every time I say I really can't draw, or I get hurt every time I get on a bike. And I can ride a bike. I just wind up on the ground at some point. So every time I say that, I keep convincing myself that. So in the spring, I am going to go paint more. I do like to paint. Maybe drawing is not my medium. But I am going to break that cycle. And so that's another book that Joe Dispenza has, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, which is a really interesting study. It's a great book. You definitely can talk yourself into being something that is not your optimal self. And it could be that we repeat the language that we heard from other people when we were a kid. It could be a teacher, it could be family member. But the best part is that we can always change that. And mantras and affirmations, they always seem so hokey to me when I was younger. And the truth is that if you hear yourself say, I am doing all the right things, like I'm a great parent, I am a great wife, I am a good dog owner, it so our dog is, she is my nemesis, but she comes to me for everything. So she doesn't love everything that I do. She loves on everybody else in the house. I'm the waitress. She's like, waitress, feed me, let me out, waitress. So I gave her a whole chicken breast yesterday, and she's just like, whatever. But if we start saying things, to the effect of, I am a great bike rider, I am a great painter, things will happen. Now, in your particular situation, I don't know what the specifics are of the things that are getting thrown at you. And if you want, you can email me at FortuneCookiesTarot@gmail. You can give me a bit more information. We can talk about this a bit more. But it really is this this blinder that's being thrown at you, this language blinder that's being thrown. And it's just saying, don't look at this, because we're not going to let you evolve. We're going to make sure that you are stuck where you are and you don't see the good things. So it is someone pulling back the curtain on the good things that you have. And it could be somebody in your life, and it could be you. Like, and that's not to say, it's a bad thing, but sometimes, we get into that. Sometimes we get into that kind of a thinking, like, oh, I'm never going to get out of this situation. I'm never going to find a new place to live. I'm never going to, have a new car again. Like, we can always talk ourselves into those things. But when we start to work on an energetic level, and we start to do the meditations, and we start to reset ourselves and reprogram ourselves, because you do have to think about that. We are a program. We're an energetic program, and if we start to reset that program and we reprogram what we want, we come up with some neat things. So I hope that helped, Vicki. So, definitely email me. I won't be answering emails tonight. I'll be answering them tomorrow. But, email me and let me know a little bit more about the situation. We'll see if we get some more information out of this. Okay. So, Brian, I know you put a donation here. So, 154 pounds. I weigh almost as much as you, Foxy. So thank you, Vicki, for your donation too. Thank you so much. But email me. Hi, Amanda. How are you? I hope you're having a fun pre-Halloween down there. I do not have big feet though. Yeah, Foxy, I have little feet. I have little feet. Sorry, I'm scrolling through. Future spouse reading. Yes, Brian, I will do that. I'll go for that. Let me see. Let's see if you had. How, Carolina? No, that's Caroline. Gregopedia is doing Sweet Caroline over there. All right. So Brian, future spouse. What deck do I want to use for this? I think we want to use this one. Curious Creatures. Oh, okay. Oh, wait. Okay. Hang on. I see. It's in your super chat. What do you see? Oh, there's nothing in the super chat. Hang on. All right, Brian. I'm looking for. Okay. Here we go. Oh. Wow, Brian, that's a heavy question. Okay, so before my grandpa died in 2021, he was involved in some sort. And I'm changing the deck. We're going back to Ellen Cannon Reed. I need her protection for this one. All right, he was involved in some sort of satanic cult called the Neothink Society. This is books right here. What is going on? And thank you for your donation, Brian. Okay. So the relationship between them was not all that it seemed. So while they may have appeared, or maybe your grandfather thought that they were much closer than they were, or there was a more legitimate relationship there. There was some dislike on both of their parts. I think your grandfather had a little bit of a kind of an eyebrow up toward this individual, and the individual had the same thing toward your grandfather. It just wasn't really a full disclosure kind of relationship. There was some tension between the two of them. Obtaining your grandfather's book, specifically his spell book, his spelling book, was something that he had wanted. There was some element of power. Now, and all of us psychically have different elements of power that we can tap into. And some of us are really good at healing people. Some of us are really good at, determining the motivations of others. Some of us are very good at seeing the inflexible points of the future, those karmic points of the future. So there was something about your grandfather's ability that he was very, very keen on obtaining for himself, and that's why he's collected these books. So if that's the why. That's the why this happened. So what the hell is going on? Is it something that should be of concern, that you should fight to get these books back? I don't know if that's even something you want to do. This individual is consolidating power for, and again, I'm not going to say this is, strictly for nefarious means. This is really something, some level of power that your grandfather had that he wants to obtain for himself. It's not that, he's trying to wield the sword that, is going to end everything for everyone. It's not what's going on here. This is just some element of power that he wants. Yeah. So here's an example. So I am a very hyper person. I'm not a calm person. So I've never been really good at scrying. Scrying is, crystal ball reading, basins of water, those kinds of things. I'm just not really good at it. I'm not a great meditator. I do like the Joe Dispenza ones, but I have like an eye mask on. I go through the whole routines. I do some of my best meditating when I'm doing the dishes, or when I'm doing some kind of action that's repetitive and I can kind of gap out on it. So, if I were able to obtain someone's crystal ball who is a very good scryer and would be able to absorb all those abilities through the equipment, would I want to do something like that? I think I might. I think it might be kind of interesting. I often think about, like, when I go to the great beyond, what's going to happen to this extensive collection of cards that I have. Because I do think I don't have any used decks. That was something that I never really got into, getting, decks that have already been used. I'm not a weirdo. Like, I don't let people handle my decks. Like, people can handle my decks. It's totally fine. But I think that there is some element of power. It's certainly the Ellen Cannon Reed deck that I have, that was one of my first decks, and it is highly valuable because it's no longer in print in this fashion. I wonder where that's going to wind up and how that's going to affect someone. Are they going to be a good reader because of all the experience that went into this deck? So I don't know, but it's kind of this experience that's happening. It's trying to obtain some of the gifts that your grandfather had for himself, which in and of itself, I don't think is a bad thing. I don't think that that's, something nefarious or weird. you know, you could even make it, you know, hey, one of my girlfriends, you know, met the love of her life in this sweater, so I'm going to borrow the sweater and see if I could meet the love of my life in this sweater. You know, kind of like that. I do think that he did extract some benefit from it. I do think that it did give him some intellectual, if not energetic, insight into these gifts that he wanted, or that he was trying to cultivate in himself. I think that's a better way of saying it, trying to cultivate in himself. Does this take away from, you know, your grandfather's energetic power? Not necessarily. Does it have a negative effect on you and your family? Not necessarily. I mean, death is but a door. So, you know, and I don't know what your personal belief system is, but you know, when we go through we can be all sorts of things from lifetime to lifetime. I do believe that we reincarnate, we go through lifetime to lifetime. So when we go through that door of death and we transform into another kind of energetic being, we go into another lifetime. We take with us the love, and we take with us the experiences that we have. We kind of extract all of the negative about it, so we can look at it very with a very clear eye. We can kind of review everything. And for your grandfather, that transition going, oh, but I'm sorry, there's Mark Hamill. Okay. Why are we talking about Luke Skywalker all of a sudden? I'm like, don't bring Luke Skywalker into this. So when we transition into that next lifetime, you know, we have that chance to go back and to kind of redo all of the things that we need to do, and you know, sort the mistakes that we did. Is Foxy? Oh, Foxy, you're skipping out. You need to sort out the kitty litter. Foxy, I'll see you later. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to keep moving forward on all the comments. I apologize if I didn't pay enough attention to the scroll. So but you know, this, I think, you know, once your grandfather transitions, and again, I'm sorry, I was a little insensitive. I am so sorry for your loss. You know, I know it's never an easy thing. But you know, when he transitions, he's going into another lifetime that is going to be very different in terms of productivity. So I think he will be taking all, you know, having his book, having his book that he wrote, having his books that he didn't write is not going to extract from this. You know, this individual may have learned a few things intellectually, may have, you know, been able to add some things energetically to his toolkit, for lack of a better word. But I just don't think that it's, you know, the worst thing in the world. I wouldn't create a ruckus about it. You know, I would just kind of let that go if you can, and just know that, you know, our loved ones are always out and about. They're always out and about and around us, and they are available if we ask them to be. So I hope that helped. So I'm going to scroll through the comments again. There we go. Wife, I'm a grumpy Marine. We're just going to put some cards all over the place. I got some things going on here. That was one of my big questions. I'm going to do some production videos tomorrow, hopefully. And that was one that I was going to get into, but we'll just clip this and see what we come up with. Through card. Is Prince Charles going to Retire at 80. We're going to see that. Is that going to happen? And I don't know if you guys remember, I've always said he's going to be king for a day. He's not going to stay there. He's going to give it up at some point. King for a day. He loves High Grove. He wants to go hang out at High Grove. He does not want all of the craziness. And if he's good to his son, he's going to wind up being able to retire to High Grove and hang out with Camilla, and they can drink gin and tonics and smoke. Hierophant in reverse. The Chariot. Hanged One. 5 of Wands. I'm calling it. Yeah, I think he's gonna. 8 of Pentacles. I think he's gonna. 9 of Wands. So the reason why I think he's going to is that the Hierophant is in reverse. The Hierophant, when we read on the royal family, when we read on, oh, Brian, thank you. And I thank you for your contribution. I think. Oh, hang on one second. Some sort of. Okay, I'm gonna have to. Some sort of heirloom package. I'm super disturbed by all this. Yeah, I wouldn't. Brian, I wouldn't. Just to kind of finish up Brian's comment here. Let me go back. Oh, and Nikki, thank you, honey. So I'm trying to get down here. So, and Bob Ross is boss. We who said this? Celtic Root. We have oils. I don't have any pastels, but we do have oils, and we have the Bob Ross kit. So, my daughter and I were doing some Bob Ross paintings not long ago. Happy little trees. So, let me scroll. Nutso notification. Oh, I sound better. Yeah, I didn't do, I just set this up. Okay, future spot. So I'm trying to get there. Sorry guys. Oh, there's so many comments. So, okay, yeah. So here, it was supposed to be some sort of heirloom package. Super disturbing. I think it's just trying to, get his secret sauce. No, nobody wants to join a cult. Yeah, I mean, if you have some of the things, like, that's great. But, I wouldn't, I wouldn't cause a ruckus over it. I know you're super disturbed over it, but, it's kind of, I would kind of let that go. Yeah, definitely my cards are chatty tonight, aren't they? So the Hierophant in reverse for King Charles. I keep calling him Prince Charles. Like, and I know I'm not the only one. I know a lot of people are doing this. So when the Hierophant's in reverse, that, political readings, it's seats of power, the Kremlin, Washington, D.C., the Parliament, those kinds of things. So, when we get this with the royal family, it's the royal family is turned upside down. So there is a weakening when it's upside down. There's a weakening of that power structure there. So what do? We move forward with the Chariot. We get into the next level. What is that? That's the heir. That's the next level. So is this why Harry's, desperately seeking a residence there, so that he can kind of get in there and suck up to daddy and get back into the royal family? Perhaps I think that's why he does need to make a show there. I think if he is going to, if he suspects that he is going to have to come back to the family, he better start getting those ducks in a row right now. So the Hanged One, King Charles, is going to see that even though he is welcomed, even though he has been accepted as the sovereign, he knows that there's always going to be a little bit of a stain on him for the whole Camilla, Diana business. He knows that if William steps up, that William is beloved, and that Catherine more so is really beloved, and that is going to be a tremendous. And I do think that that's why the coronation was smaller. I said that. Don't tell me that it was because they're trying to save money. The coronation was smaller because they knew that they were going to have another coronation in the next few years, and that one is going to be splashy, and that one I'm going to be at. I am going to go to that. So Greg, we're going to have to do that. So what is it? They're saying when he's 80. So we have a few years. We've got a plan for that. So here, the Five of Wands, there would be much more collective work with it, but we've got time for it. The star is in reverse. So we've got some time. We're not going to have to do that right away. Also, the star is leaving with less fanfare than we had with the late Majesty, Queen Elizabeth, Her Majesty. Less of the, heartbreak, and we're looking back, looking over her career. We're not going to have that. It's going to be a quieter exit. This is a quieter moving on to the next one. With the chariot is a process of moving. Think of the chariot as a river that is flowing versus the Tower card, which is an explosion. The street is blowing up and things are going all over the place. And we have to go down a different road. So, this and the star, when we have the star in its upright position, we're, gently gliding toward that starry light in the future. We're moving very ethereally and very quietly. When it's in reverse, we're going kind of differently. What I'm getting is it's just not going to be that kind of, we're not going to be heartbroken like we were with Queen Elizabeth, seeing her after 70 years in service, going the span of her reign was quite remarkable. I know some people are not, pro monarchy, and some people have very different feelings about it, but I do think that the best known royal family in all of the world, the British royal family, I think it does need to be preserved as a structure of Great Britain. I think it does need to be preserved, and some people in England would disagree with me. My former sister-in-law was not a monarchist. They're from Scotland, and she's not a monarchist. She's a Glaswegian. And then my nephew actually went into the service and was Queen's Guard. She kind of changed her mind, and she was at the Jubilee. And then when the Queen passed away, I had sent her a message, and I was like, I can't believe you're so upset. She goes, she's our Queen. I go, you had a different story 10 years ago. But I gave her that. It's all well and good, but I think we're going to see a very different transition of power for this next one. And I think even though I think this will be seen as an unusual occurrence, it's not going to be seen as the abdicator David. It's going to be seen as something like that, but perhaps they're going to come up with something a little bit different. Maybe they're going to come up with, maybe someone's sick, maybe something, it's going to be, oh, well, we need to do this for XYZ. Under the surface, he wants to be freed of the constraints of this, and he does want to get into a retirement situation. He will still be there in an advisement capacity. Does William need him? Not necessarily, but there will be still an advisement capacity there. So I do think we're going to see that. I do think that that's not a rumor. I think that is that it's a story that they're floating so that everyone's prepared for it in the future. And they're testing the waters to see how people respond to it. Let's face it, Catherine has been shoved front and center. Everyone loves her. She's adorable. The kids are adorable. This would put them in a very, very different position, and I think a positive position for the royal family. Now, the other two, are they going to create a ruckus? Probably. So, we'll see how that goes. So, Brian, now I'm going to pull another deck because all of my decks are getting energy out the wazoo. So, let's see. Oh dear. Okay. Oh wait. So we're still talking about Casey. All right. Hang on. All right, so Brian, I'm going to ask you to help me out on this one just for a second. Does Casey know that that he has the books? So just say yes or no in there. Okay, I'll move this guy up in just a second. So, all right, the reason why I asked that, and you did say yes, that he knows that that he has the books. So, initially, what came into my head is ask him, can I have them back when you're done? Can I have them back? I don't think it's the mass produced books that are an issue. I don't think it's the ones that your grandfather went and bought at the store, bought online, and had delivered to the house. Like, it's not. It's the handwritten ones, or the handwritten one that is the one that Casey wants. And there's something to be said about the power of handwriting things, the power of handling things, and having those in your control. There's absolutely something about that. So, this individual, again, like, I just don't think that this is, something that it's almost like I'm going to put this in a different phrase. So if your grandfather was a chef and he had this amazing set of knives, he would want to pass those on to his family. But what if you were completely averse to cooking and you did not want to use those knives at all, and they would go into a drawer and they wouldn't be used? I'm just going to pull up your other comment here just so that. So it's almost like these will not be used by you, so they should be in the hands of someone who is using them. So one of the things, I'm using the Aleister Crowley Thoth deck right now. And so the interesting thing about working with the Thoth decks is that they work with the concept of natural power balance. So what we are looking at is the lion and the gazelle. I describe it as the lion and the gazelle all the time. So the lion has a great day, kills a gazelle, has a great meal, And then what happens is the gazelle has a terrible day, but it does balance the world. So there are situations where we look at, is it fair and just, or is it the right way for things to go? And it doesn't necessarily have to go with our laws as much as it goes with natural law. So I think the idea behind this is that, we have this emperor and this empress, this consolidation of power and creation that is in reverse, because if these items were to go to you, they would not be used. They would not be um I'm using the word benefited from. It would not be benefited from. um to bring this to the fore, to make this an issue, to draw a line in the sand, would interfere with the level of peace that is at hand now. This would create much strife. We would see some strife. We would see a lot of back and forth, a lot of energy, a lot of stuff going on. And that's the thing. Like, this kind of stuff we don't need in our life. Do we want it? Do we want war? Do we want chaos? Do we want conflict? Do we want to have to fight? Um, how much is your peace worth? And is memory a good exchange for this? Do you need to have that physical thing? um you know Dominion is our card underneath. So we have a 2 of swords and a 2 of wands. And they're both in reverse. The 2 of swords is our outward energy, our mental disposition, the present that we have to all. And the 2 of wands is in reverse in our shadow self. So, the question becomes here, and again, I'm stepping to this with a very Crowley perspective, because it's important to understand the why. So why is it important to obtain those books, to have them back? The why. And I apologize if this is not the answer that you want, but the idea behind this is that it's something that'll be utilized. It's like, it's like those people that have, a fur coat from 1953 and it's still sitting in their closet and they're not using it because, of anti-fur people, animal rights activists. But the reality is, and Lady Colin Campbell says this all the time, it seems a needless sacrifice for an animal that was harvested, and I did say harvest, 50 years ago, to be wasting away in the closet when it's a beautiful piece of artwork. Should we still honor that, or should we burn it on the fire and make that that sacrifice, that harvest, all for naught? So it's kind of the same idea here, where the books are valuable in one man's hands, but they are not. They have and again, forgive me, they have an emotional value to you, but their practical value, their energetic value, is not going to be maximized with you. So really, that is the question. And that's a question that you need to answer. And what's interesting is that we had the Emperor and the Empress in reverse here, which are our terrestrial parents. Those are and they're both in reverse. We also have the Knight and the Queen of Discs in reverse as well. So, they are very terrestrial as well, but this is legacy that we're talking about. So while the Emperor and the Empress in reverse are our creators, the ones that make the magic happen. They take the seed and they bring it into the world and turn it into something. The Knight and the Queen, they are the ones that manage that magic we create. So, and I am using the word magic with a CK. So, really, I think thinking long and hard about the why obtain these. And I do understand, you know, this is your grandfather and you do want his belongings to come to you as a person, as a person in the family line, as in the legacy. I do think that, you know, perhaps this, you know, the other individual, there's something to be said about those items being used. So let's just for our sake, let's just see, you know, how would Casey respond if you had asked for them back? Here we go. The Hangman in reverse. Would you be utilizing them? The 10 of Swords. I don't think he would be agreeable to it, but possibly in the future. So, you know, the Star card, we get that possibility, you know, possibility into the future. So, you know, I'm not looking too deeply into Casey's motivations, but you know, I do think, or I shouldn't say motivations, but his reactions. So let's do a little what if. What if we created a ruckus and demanded them back? Let's just see that. Let's just see what we get. Okay. If we demand them back, we get chaos. We get silence. Yeah. Empress in reverse. That is that Knight of Discs in reverse. And we get that the Two of Swords in reverse again. We get, you know, no peace. We get the Hangman in reverse. What are you gonna? It all comes back to this. What do you want him for? Like that's what Casey's going to say. He's going to say, what do you want them for? Because I'm utilizing them, you know, are they just going to go on a shelf? Like it's going to be that kind of a conversation. And I think it's not that he's going to war with you over that, but I think it's going to interfere with the relationship. And if you are in a band, which, you know, they are relationships, you know, usually with, you know, 4 or 5 people, and it becomes a very interesting dynamic. You know, I just think that, you know, I would consider the why. This was like one of my favorite questions. You know, this was a pretty intense question. So, so I again, like going back to this, and thank you so much for your contribution, both of them, dear. I think going back to the, you know, why, what is the end game here? Like, where are we, what are we trying to accomplish here? And I think we're going to find some interesting searches there. So that being said, well, kids, I think I am going to close up for readings because that was some intense stuff. I mean, not, you know, horribly intense, but I am still getting over my cold, so I'm still a little congested. But I just want to make sure you guys are nice and chatty in the comments. I love that. And I did see, Foxy, you have a Maine Coon. I love Maine Coons. And I think you said you have a Russian Blue too. Let's talk about cats. So our one cat is a British short hair. And when we got her, Pusheen, when we got her, the rescue lady said to us, you, when I got my first British short hair, I fell in love with her. It's the greatest cat ever. And I will never look back and you know, get no, she's like, I obtain cats all the time, but I will never get another cat. That is you know, isn't a British short hair, if I have the choice. And she was right. I love our British short hair. Yeah, I absolutely love her. She is super sweet. So yeah, I did see you, Foxy. Yeah, I think I'm gonna. Oh, thank you, Brian. Brian, I hope to see you back. I want to hear more about how this story goes. So, you know, it's very interesting. You know, people get involved in, you know, all sorts of things. And, you know, like I said, you know, I do all this and I'm just going to dump out my wand. That's how we do this. And little selenite for everybody. Give everybody a little selenite for me. So you know, when you're into something that's unusual like this, I mean, you know, if you know, heaven forbid something happens to me and my mother had to come in here and take care of all this, I mean, they would all be in the trash. All my cards would be in the trash, and you know, my kids would probably be upset. You know, this is like the crown jewel, my amethyst wand from Alicia. You know, that's the crown jewel. Greg, what would you do if something happened to me? What would you do with all my cards?
I would cherish each and every one. And I would burn them all.
You would burn them?
Free them.
What?
So they could be with you.
Some of them are expensive.
Oh, okay. Well, not those ones.
Would you could go on my channel and auction them off.
No, I probably have to do that. I wouldn't burn them. I would.
You would auction them off? Would you keep my amethyst wand?
It's not going in.
Oh, it's not going then. No, I would. Well, I know Gregopedia would preserve everything exactly the way that it is.
By preserving meaning like I don't go in there and touch it and clean it. Yeah, that's what I do anyway.
No, so yeah, it you know, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I would want someone to use them. I think this is going to be a question that I'm going to keep.
We would have top men
Oh,
on it.
here.
Top men.
So this is my husband. Top men. Top men. Thank you. Now I want to watch that. I feel like watching it. It's Halloween time. I got to watch Halloween movies. So yeah, our American short hairs are so totally different from our British short hair. She is so just amazing. She is the nicest cat. We can put her on her belly. We scrub her, you know, scratch her belly, and like she's bananas. But our American short hairs, they're like, rah, they're like all over the place. So very, very different personalities. And one of my girlfriends has a giant Maine Coon cat, and it looks like a dog. It's huge. It's amazing. So wow, this was 2.5 hours. I've been on here for a while. I love that we have all these cat and dog people on here. Also, so generous and nice. But listen, I am going to check out because I am beat. So it was a long weekend, but I will be back on this week. You guys will see me. Hopefully I won't have any more colds or anything, even though I was out in the rain at the competition yesterday, sitting in the rain with my friends. So, and I could never not have a cat. I love that. I love that. Oh, I can hardly imagine what my life would be without cats. They're so great, aren't they? They're just so slinky and wonderful. Oh, Foxy, is that your cat's names? Jack Chaplin and David Scott? That's your cat's names? They're great names. Oh, how nice.
Ours is Mr. James Westfall and
No, we missed our American short hairs are from Staten Island. And after we got them, the one was named Angus and my son's name is Angus. So we called him AJ for Angus Jr. And the other one was named Adolphi or something. It was the name of a river in Italy. And we changed her to Lily because I love the name Lily. And my husband, like a week later, was like, "Oh no, your cats are Daphne and Nixie. Okay, you need 2 more with Jack Chaplin and David Scott." So my husband was like, "We should have named him Nadia and Laszlo from What We Do in the Shadows." David Scott is a fully grown man. He needs to be a cat for the Halloween party tomorrow. All right, I'm sorry. Oh, Sally's cat's name is Shrimpy. Shrimpy. All right, guys. Well, I'm jumping off because I need to go lay down and watch Halloween movies. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for all the contributions. I will be back this week. You will see more videos from me this week. So in the meantime, take care and happy mischief night. Hope nothing happens. No toilet paper at your house. Bye, guys.